I was given wealth, power, and fame when I drew my first breath. Now what? I was born on the beach in Malibu, California. My father was a movie star and a member of the Rat Pack. My mother's brother was president of the United States. One of my chores as a little kid was to raise a presidential flag whenever Uncle Jack came to visit. A television camera or flashbulb often highlighted the ordinary events of my life. My bar was set pretty high. I had some pretty lofty standards to live up to. Let's see, after grade school, I become a world leader. I really ought to get my grades up. In addition to inheriting privilege and the feeling of being special, I was also given a good dose of alcoholism and the massive dysfunction that exists in a family where alcoholism doesn't just run, it gallops. I'm Irish, for Christ's sakes. I've heard it said that God invented alcohol to keep the Irish from ruling the world. My family almost proved him wrong. See, we had privilege, power, and wealth. What we didn't know is that alcoholism ignores all of that. My mother and father used to hang out at a bar called the Beachcomber. My mother went straight from the delivery room to the Beachcomber bar, put me on the bar, and ordered her favorite cocktail. I suppose she thought of it as sort of a hip Malibu neonatal unit. When you're 13 years old and your only high has been a Snickers bar, LSD can answer a lot of your questions. When you choose the beginning of the road, you also choose the destination. The moment I took that first tab of acid, the only thing I cared about for the next 17 years was where I was going to get my next drink or my next drug. I was a pig from the gate. I took anything and everything. I can use anything addictively and have. It's in my nature. I've always tried to fill that hole in my soul. All alcoholics and addicts are running away from something. We just use different color sneakers. The important realization is that the things that we use, the sneakers, are merely symptoms of an underlying disease of attitudes. At some point, I looked around my life from my drug-induced cloud and saw that my parents had divorced. Then came the deaths of my uncles. My family was suddenly thrown into grief and chaos. Believe me, there was no time for validating a kid who needed love and attention. My drugs of choice became opiates, but it really didn't matter what I took as long as it killed the pain and brought oblivion. Drugs made me feel fortified. The world was suddenly a little less scary. Better living through better chemistry became my credo. I didn't feel like there wasn't anything I couldn't accomplish if my medicine cabinet was fully stocked. Of course, it was an illusion because I always ran out, usually sooner than planned, and the energy that it took to keep that medicine cabinet stocked was significant. I've often wondered what I might have accomplished in this life if I had made a different decision that day when I was 13 years old. My parents were too busy with their own lives and dramas to intervene. My mom sent me away to be somebody else's problem, and my father joined me. My mother used to always say to me, "You're just like your father." She never knew how right she was.